Hello, good evening. Hopefully, still waiting to see if it. Good. Okay, everything's working. Great. Awesome. Live stream. Woohoo. How are you all doing? Hopefully, you're all doing well. I literally just came in off a frozen lake where I was filming. Yeah, I can tell you. I was filming a couple of Olympic skaters, an Olympic figure skater, an Olympic speed skater, which was a blast. Absolutely awesome. And yeah, so I hoofed it 7 miles across a frozen lake to get out there and get back and do everything and then get back in time so that I can be here with you all, which I'm super excited to be here with you all. So I hope you're all doing well. Hopefully everything's good. I got to finish setting up one thing for the stream here because otherwise it's hard for me to see the chat. There we go. There we go. Yeah, so welcome to the stream. If this is your first time here, it's good to have you. This stream, basically the whole reason I did this stream was to be able to have more of a conversation. Because if you ask questions in the comments, like I answer them, but I don't see anything beyond that. So this gives us more of the chance to be able to actually have a back and forth and chat more. So if you have questions, put them in the comments. Sometimes it does take me a minute to get to them, but I will get to them. And then occasionally I'll ask, if I haven't got to somebody's comment, please put it in the chat again, because I do occasionally miss stuff and, don't make it all the way into, because I'm human. I don't quite make it all the way into, I gotta get this set. All the way in. There we go. Hey, my overhead camera. Wait, no, come on. Why are you not showing up? Oh, did something undone? No, it's not showing up. Why is my overhead camera not showing up? Whatever. Oh, is it? Oh, there we go. I was pushing the wrong button. Okay. Anyway, so good to have you all here. Glad you're here. I saw Shutter Speed Ireland. You were here super early. Welcome to the stream. One Vision Aerial, Kevin Hawthorne, Phantom Flight 101. Good evening, sir. The Drone Dad, Pete's Cheap Adventures, Hawkesbury, Ontario. Cool. Mark H. Hey, Dynadrone. Thank you for the super chat. I do very much deeply appreciate that. Thank you very much. Robin's Drones, Portland, Oregon. Man, I spent some time there. I mean, I've been there a few times, but I spent some time there last summer, and it was spectacularly beautiful. Every time I've ever been to Portland, and the Pacific Northwest in general is such a beautiful place, but Portland is a really cool city. So, hi there. New background, new room, Drone Dad. Yeah, so I've been rebuilding the studio because I need more of a multi-purpose space. So that's what's in progress behind me. I am putting a video, like a whole video about the whole entire process together, because these walls here are actually more than just decoration. They're sound control and more. So yeah, but I will be putting together an entire new video about like rebuilding the studio to be a more multi-purpose space and the reasons why I did some of the things I did eventually. So let's see, the keyboard cam. Yeah, check out the keyboard cam. I also got this nice, fairly cheap on Amazon desk mat, because I didn't want to like rub my desk raw. This nice desk that I made with all this really beautiful acacia wood that I built. I didn't want to like ruin the finish or anything just by rubbing a mouse on it all the time, so I didn't. I will say, before I finish saying hi to everybody, those of you that are channel members are going to get to see a fun behind the scenes video from today here soon. I filmed the journey out to the glacier across the frozen lake, and then filmed a little bit as we were like doing the stuff with these figure skaters. So that's one of the benefits for being a channel member, is you get to see videos that don't make it onto the main channel, and also behind the scenes videos of me making videos and complaining a lot about how cold it is. So yeah, anyway, but you're in for a treat. This one is just kind of a cool video. So Robert, let me know when you're coming to Southern California, lower latitude, better altitude, attitude. Fresh caught wild California lobster. Oh, that sounds spectacular, man. I don't have anything in the schedule right now, but if I do, I will let you know, because that sounds absolutely spectacular. Jim Beersley from snowy Minnesota. I bet. Beautiful Vancouver, another absolutely spectacular place, James. Christine, so excited to catch you live. Tucson, Arizona. Nice, Christine. I was in Tucson last year, beginning of last year, like February, late February. Got to go see some of the area around there. Absolutely spectacular. Beautiful place. It was weird for me looking at mountains with cacti on them. I'm not used to that, but it was very cool. And got to go hiking around one of the national parks there. And yeah, very, very cool. Let's see. So I'm glad you made the stream. Wendy, Air 2S newbie here. When using master shots, is it a different frame rate? You put it in 24 FPS timeline and it doesn't fill the frame? You mean it doesn't fill like the whole size, or does it skip? Because if it's a different frame rate, then you'll see kind of like stuttery footage. It won't be smooth motion and movement. But if it doesn't fit like to fill the whole thing, it should. You want a 16:9 frame rate, or a 16:9 aspect ratio. And then depending on if you're doing them in 4K or 1080p might be a difference too. So Wendy, you want to make sure that when you're flying and you put it in master shot mode, before you hit go into the settings, the three little dots up on the upper right-hand corner of the screen, and go down to camera and set it, make sure it's set to, 1080p 30 frames or 4K 30 frames. It's weird how you have to do that. You have to be in that mode before you can change the frame rate for it. Hopefully that's what you're looking for. Mark H. Yeah, so I will be doing like a video of the process of rebuilding this. Yeah, Wendy, awesome. I'm glad that helped you. I'm glad that was your question. Let me see. Is this on? I think it's on. Yes, it's on. Good. Okay. Adrian, cheers from San Diego. Nice. Love this week's video on waypoints. Hopefully DJI waypoints the Mini 3 Pro. Yeah, Adrian. So I mean, it's been a few weeks or maybe a month or so now that I started using waypoints for certain things, because while I love Active Track, it is limiting on what you can do. And especially as somebody who films myself a lot, I'm like constantly like going, man, I would love to like come around this and go over this or whatever to reveal stuff, because reveals are a great way to use drones. And once they added waypoints to the Mavic 3, I was like, oh yes, I can use this to great advantage when it comes to filming stuff. And so I'm glad you enjoyed the video. The location I got to film that in was mind-blowing, and there will be an entire video coming about the story of that area, or the story of getting to that area kind of thing, sort of. Anyway, it'll be coming. And next week comes the video that maybe nobody's been waiting for, but maybe a bunch of you have been waiting for, of filming the Aurora with the Mavic 3. I'm just about done editing it. I am pretty excited about it. I think it's going to turn out really good. So next week will be the Aurora video, filming the Aurora with the Mavic 3. So yeah, anyway. And then tomorrow comes a new video about a product launch that may or may not apply to you. It'll apply more to people who work in productions and larger productions, but it'll be fun. So let's see. Hey, John Burnett, welcome. Let's see. Shutter Speed Island. Did I get the clip of Belfast at night? Did I get a clip of? I don't. What are you talking about, Shutter Speed? I'm sorry, I don't. I may have forgotten what we were talking about. So remind me real quick. Any tips on keeping birds? Brown and Beachy. Any tips on keeping birds from attacking your drone? Yes. Oddly enough, if you put eyeballs on the front of it, it lowers the amount of bird attacks on your drone. It's weird, but it does work. So like some sort of weird little eyeballs, it helps. Like googly eyes work, but yeah, just eyeball stickers. Ken Heron sells those stickers that have eyeballs. It does work. It does help. Drone Dad, thank you very much for becoming a channel supporter. I deeply appreciate that. Now you have access to a bunch of behind the scenes videos, which may or may not be fun to watch through the entire catalog, but there is a playlist on the channel for behind the scenes video. And if you look in the community tab, you will see posts that you will now see about behind the scenes videos. So yeah. Mark H, does the Mavic 3 Classic have ProRes? It does not. The only version of the Mavic that has ProRes is the Cine, and that's it. Everything else just has H.264, H.265. Still has D-Log, I believe, which is great, even not in ProRes, but you know, it's not as good as ProRes, I guess. Mavic 3 Classic. Let's see. Yep, it does have D-Log, so you can shoot a normal HLG, D-Log, just H.264, H.265. Those are your options there. USA Drone Flyer, Captain Joe America. Hey, welcome to the stream. I don't know if I've seen you on the stream before. Anyway, you get a gimbal overload warning with the Air 2S yawing or flying sideways. You've blown it out several times. It still happens usually after flying about 5 minutes. Then works well. Then overloads again. Thoughts? USA Drone Flyer, you might need to send that in for service. It sounds like one of the gimbal motors or one of the IMU units in the gimbal motors is having problems. If you're handy with electronics, you could probably service it yourself by just getting a gimbal from a parts store. I mean, on eBay, or just look it up. Like there's parts stores around that will sell you the components of drones. The Air 2S is fairly easy to get a hold of, pieces, and then just replace the gimbal yourself. If you're handy with electronics, if you haven't done fairly fine detailed electronics work before, then sending it in would be better. Yeah, so. But that's what it sounds like to me. I'm sorry I can't give you better news. The other thing is to like do a complete restore, refresh of the firmware, like wipe it, restore, refresh, factory settings, and see if that helps. It's probably what they'll do if you call in to DJI support and to see what they say. They'll probably use something like that. But yeah, Arizona Drone Dude, hey, Robin's drones flying straight up when they attack. They tend to attack downward, work well, then fly away. Robin's drones, there you go. That's also an option. I have had a drone taken out by birds. I've been on a crew that we had another drone taken out by an eagle. It does happen, unfortunately. So let's see. Let's see. Thanks for the tip, Brown Beachy. You're welcome. Dynadrone, last time you were here in Oregon, you were doing a sunset pick, and you tried to see, you would have come to meet you. I mean, it's a photo shoot, but you had a short time here. Yes, Dynadrone. That trip was extremely packed. It was nuts. The amount of stuff we had to get done in the time we had was crazy. And that whole, the sunset thing I did was literally like the only maybe 45 minutes of free time I had the entire time I was there, which I was bummed about because there were several people there that I would like to have met up with. But yeah, Linda Garland, what is my studio mic I'm currently using? So currently I'm using a Deity S-Mic 2S and then running it through a Universal Audio Volt 176. So hopefully that helps you and answers your question. Did I ever buy a Nevada? Views that fade. So I was going to multiple times, and then something would happen. And then I realized that I really didn't have any need to get a Nevada once they released the Air 3, O3 Air units and the goggles too. So I did buy the goggles too, and I bought three or four of the O3 Air units. Dear Lord. Yeah, I bought a few of those. And then I've been rebuilding a couple of my drones to work with it because, and then I've flown the Avata a bunch. It's just not mine. Sorry, I don't know if that was too loud. I just realized I was peeking over there. Anyway, I've flown the Avata a bunch, just not mine. It's a great drone. If you're getting into flying FPV drones, the Avata is a great place to start. I think it flies way better than the DJI FPV drone did, like out of the box. The DJI FPV drone, you can certainly work on it and get it to fly better. But yeah, I just also realized I'm all over the place here. I'm going to do this and that. That's a little better. So yeah. Anyway, that. So yeah, I do like the goggles too. I was using them a bunch today flying with my FPV drone. I don't think I could get any of the footage off my SD card and process it fast enough to show you all. Plus, it might make my computer just totally like flip out. Well, it shouldn't. It's a really new computer, but you know, stranger things have happened. So yeah. Shutter speed. You sent me a clip of Belfast. Oh, where did you send that to me? Because I do remember that now. No, shutter speed. It's still on there. I have to think of how you get it. Wait, so you're like in my video about night mode on the Mavic 3. When you pull up and you tap on like just above the record button on the screen, there's like the video, photo, whatever mode you're in. You tap on that. You don't have night mode in the options there in the video because that's where it is for mine. If you don't have night mode and you're running either a Mavic 3, Mavic 3 Cine, or Mavic 3 Classic, then you may need to refresh your firmware because you should have it. And they haven't taken it out because I'm on the latest firmware and I use it a lot still. Oh, that is weird, Mark H. You updated the Air 2S firmware and found out the video shoot mode that settings were changed to FPV? That's odd. That is really bizarre. So, Brad Alston, you want an Avata? Have to wait this year? Dang. Yeah, the Avata is a really, really fun one. Hey, 107 Drones. And I also saw Lambo Drive Zambo. Views that fade. Drone shots. Hi, everybody. Good to have you all here. Mark H. Oh, we got that. Yep, not there, but not there. Oh, that is weird, shutter speed. Yeah, I would do a firmware refresh. Try and refresh the firmware and see if that fixes it. Because you should have it. If you're flying one of those 3 drones, it should be there. There's nothing, there's no other settings you have to like turn on or anything like that. So yeah. Florent, let's see. How do you suggest somebody move into the videography hobby when they have been predominantly a photographer? You've taken many video clips, but always struggle putting them together in a story. Florent, yeah, that is a big deal. The thing you have going for you is if you've done photography, you understand exposure and the relationship between ISO, shutter speed, and aperture. So that's great. You probably have an eye for framing and stuff like that already. So fantastic job there. I'm doing the story series, and it's been a minute since I've done one because it just has been. But I'm going to continue doing that soon. And the simplest way to tell a story really is to just take people on the journey with you. You know, whatever that is. You want to take them on a journey. So you want to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. The beginning is like where you set everything up about the story, like where you are, what you're doing, why you're doing it. The middle is where you do what you're talking about, essentially what you set up in the beginning. And so that's also where like any conflict comes in. So you're like, you know, today we're going to go to the store and go grocery shopping. And then you get in the car and realize it's like bumper to bumper rush hour traffic or whatever things you have to overcome to actually do what you said you were going to do in the beginning. It's very simple simplification. And then the end is like when you do it, the accomplishment, the conclusion, the resolution of that conflict. So that, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. And the good way to do that, I mean, a good way to do anything like that is to spend a lot of time watching good stories because it helps you refine it. But you have to watch it with the idea of like, what are they doing here? Why are they doing that? Analyze the story that they're telling to really help, you know, solidify in what that is. All right, Robert Schorner, not forgotten about the fellow to the Explorers Club. Still need to do more research on the Alaska chapter. Oh, cool, Robert. That's awesome. Thank you. Okay. Let's see if I caught up now. Hey, Chris. Let's see. Redux update last summer. Interesting. Oh, that's weird. Okay, yeah. Drone Dad. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people when they jump in the videography space have never done anything like that. So it's the whole process of like developing your eye for stuff, for framing and for capturing moments and all that. But then it's like also learning the basics of shutter speed and ISO and aperture and lighting and like lighting angles and all that. It's a lot. And so, yeah. Larry S., you don't want to update. Should you update the Mini 3 Pro? I mean, it's up to you. If honestly, like, well, my Mavics are all up to date, but like my FPV drones, let's go there. My FPV drones have not been updated for years. Yeah, literally years. Because the setup I have right now is working very, very well. Now that I'm updating the O3 Air units and I'm using the Goggle 2, I will be updating them. Also, I'll be updating a few of them because the new GPS rescue modes in the FPV drones is better. But I'm a big proponent of like, if it's not broken and there's not something you need in the update, then I just leave it. Personally, it's great. Florent, awesome. Glad to hear it. And then look up, because I've got a whole playlist on the channel about telling stories, and there are some good tips in there that will help you, and some example stories as well. So let's see. How would I compare the Insta360 X3 to the DJI or GoPro 11, Smaxum? I did very different cameras. The X3, like, that's the camera that you're just like, I don't want to think about framing. I just want to be able to do this and then do it later in post. And it's great for that. The GoPro Hero 11, GoPro still has the best image quality out of any action camera. The way they process the image is the best. It is. You know, and it's probably a reason I got called a shill a bunch in the last comparison videos that I did, because I didn't explicitly say that. I mean, I kind of did, but I didn't like come out and go, yeah, DJI image quality is good, but GoPro is better. It is. But yeah. So the DJI or the GoPro 11, both of them are more like, they're action cameras. You have to frame them and point them in the right direction and stuff, where the Insta360 is great for not worrying about that. The other thing I was messing around today, I was like, I forgot I had a Pocket 2 and a DJI Pocket 2 with a little microphone. So I was walking across the lake and I'm like, you know what? This is the perfect camera for this today. I'm going to use this and film the whole like behind the scenes video for the members and patrons about this journey and going out to film these Olympic ice skaters in front of the glacier on this frozen lake. So I did. It is great. It was also one of the things that like I had to point it in the right direction and stuff. So yeah. Adrian learning to edit and storytell. Main difference between a good photographer and a good videographer. It's true, Adrian. Like a good photographer will have a story encapsulated in a picture, which is great. A good videographer will be able to take you on a journey of a story, which is I'm trying to transition to more on this channel, is that. Even with gear reviews, like I want to take you on a little story adventure, whatever it might be. So it's going to be hard. Kevin Wells, thank you very much. I finally got to your super chat. Thank you very much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. You are finally getting close to pulling the trigger on a new M2 16-inch MacBook Pro at 66. This is probably my last one. 64 gigs, 2 terabytes. It's so expensive, but this is it. Any last tips? Honestly, Kevin, like, if you want to save some money, you don't really need to go 64 gigabytes on the RAM. The 2 terabytes will be very nice on the hard drive. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a super solid laptop. I'm still using my M1 Max, and it's incredibly solid. So, yeah, if you want to save some money, do the M1 Max version. It's. I have a friend that just upgraded to the M2 Max or whatever it is for the 16 or 14-inch MacBook Pros. He spec'd everything out, and he Was kind of surprised that there wasn't a massive performance difference between the M2 and the M1s. So, yeah, if you want to save some money, I do that. All right. But thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, those are my tips. If you plan to just use it as a laptop, the 16-inch is great. If you plan to plug it into external screens or monitors a lot, then the 16, 14-inch, either one of them will be fantastic. So, shutter speed, another problem. You got to replace your replacement Mavic 3 was filming today. The other day, went out in the middle of the screen, getting bright red grain. Maybe you should send it back. Oh yeah, shutter speed. You should not be getting bright red grain. That is a problem. That's a bummer. I'm so sorry to hear that. Larry S. My Mini 3 Pro decided it needed to update itself and was giving errors after not updating since it had the RID update. Connection areas hadn't appeared before. Lambo. Wow, that's a bummer. Mark H. Is DJI having any new drones on the horizon? I think the next thing we'll probably see from DJI is maybe the Inspire 3, which is going to be a massively expensive drone. But that's the only thing I can think of. I think we may get a new like Air 2 or Air 3, Air 3S or something like that in April timeframe. But I have literally seen nothing on the horizon about it, so I doubt it. I think the next drone we'll see from DJI is probably the Inspire 3. Wingarth. How you doing, man? I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm sorry we didn't get to catch up last time I was in Chicago, and you were there but not there. You didn't make it there, whatever it was. Anyway, so I hope you're doing well, man. I got to do the funnest thing today. If you're just joining on the stream, I got done hiking across a frozen lake to a glacier and filming a couple of Olympic skaters, like speed skating and figure skating in front of the glacier. Spectacular. I think I also got sunburned because the sun was out and it was beautiful and glorious and amazing, and spring. It's coming. It's so exciting. So there definitely will be some of that coming. Let's see. Brown and beachy. I feel like I'm brown and beachy after spending the day in the sun hiking across the lake. I also didn't take any water, so I'm really dehydrated. Just brown and beachy. So the way to do that, or the best way to do that, is literally just go do a lot of it and then throw most of it away. Like film driving down the road, film making lunch, film the backyard, and play with those settings. And I mean, there are good basics to know of, like, you want your shutter speed to be 2 times whatever your frame rate is, and then your aperture you kind of use to, get the exposure you want or the depth of field you want, and you want to keep your, excuse me, I should not have drank that fast. You want to keep your ISO as low as possible. So whatever the lowest is, you can go on that. But then just go film a lot, because that will help you grow the fastest. And then put together little videos, probably throw them away. Fly Zone, what's up, man? Whatever happened to the Phantom 5, Mark H? I don't think the Phantom 5 was ever really a thing. I think that was a rumor, and I don't think it was ever really a thing. One of 7 drones. The DJI always has drones on the horizon. That's the truth. I really do think, especially with what they released for the Ronin 4D today, that zoom lens and stuff, I think we're getting closer to the Inspire 3 launch, because that system will probably interface with the Inspire 3. Yeah, that'll be cool. So, how to Alaska. God, still jealous of your name. I was actually out in your area the other day. Was I at the mat? I was. Not super recently. I did drive out there to do the Mavic 3 filming the Aurora video, which will launch on Monday. And it's cool. Wait till you see it. Like, yeah, it's awesome. we had one of the best aurora displays in 25 years that I've lived in Alaska. So it was spectacular. Oh yeah, so that's what's launching on Monday, and then yeah, so I was out at Glacier View area for that, and then I drove out there briefly yesterday to film a couple things real fast. Same area, Glacier View, but not all the way out at the Matanuska. I've actually never been on the Matanuska Glacier, if you can believe that. How to Alaska. Do you have a video on John Burnett? Yes, I do have a video on FPV drones versus regular drones. I do. If you look at the channel, definitely there. Brown and Beachy skating glacier video. There'll probably be clips showing on my Instagram pretty soon, because that'll probably be where it's. I don't know that I'm actually gonna make like a video about it for YouTube, because I didn't like go in it with the purpose of making a video. Like, it wasn't me going, hey, you guys want to get together and help me make this YouTube video. It was, I was going as an FPV drone pilot to work with other camera people who we were all having fun, but it wasn't like, hey, you know, this is my video thing. So I was one of the people there that were working with these guys to film this, which is cool. But you will see clips on Instagram, so follow Instagram. Which, if you need to know what my Instagram is, search Jake Sloan, and that's me. Let's see. So, and yeah, so it'll be clips coming in the next few days, probably there. Interested to see DJI's next FPV drone. Did I know that they control 70% of the drone market? Yes, Views That Fade. They have a massive chunk of the drone market. And I would like to see that change. I would like to see other drone manufacturers challenge DJI in their dominance of the drone market. It's just, that's a big hurdle. DJI has poured so much money into R&D, and they're really good at it. Like, they're really good at building drones that work extremely well. So, Wing Earth likes from the chat. Hey Eddie, how you doing, man? So yeah, that's the thing. Like, and that's what a marketplace does. Is if a company does extremely well at something, the marketplace rewards that in that way. So, yeah, the Aurora was insane that night. So, what time is it? Oh, it's only 4:35. Oh, well, let me see if I can process one of the drone videos. Dynadrone, what was my setting for the Aurora? You might have to wait and find out. I do give you some of the tips and tricks on how I was able to capture the Aurora, or was trying to capture the Aurora with the Mavic 3. So, yeah, it's coming. Like, I gotta pull all the footage off my card here. I only shot 22 gigabytes on the GoPro 11 FPV. Wow, not bad. Yeah, I don't want to give away all my secrets. I want you to watch the video because, you know, YouTube algorithm, views, all that sort of thing. But yeah, I think you really like. The video is more along the lines of like storytelling. So it's the whole process of like trying to just even get to a point where we can go capture the Aurora, because it's so hit or miss with the weather and everything else. But it's, yeah, there's some spectacular shots in it. If I do say so myself. Anyway. 107 drones. Exactly. You need a freaking Mavic 3. And actually, like, that was the most challenging thing to try and capture with the Mavic 3. I'll say that. Even the Inspire, I think it would be extremely challenging with the, you know, X7 camera or whatever the big camera is. You're just dealing with incredibly low light. So, but yeah, I can't wait to release that video. It's going to be awesome. So, USA Drone Flyer did a refresh restore. We'll check it tomorrow. Always have the Mavic 3 and Mini 3 Pro to fall back on if I need to send it back. Thanks for all the advice. You're welcome. Thanks for being here, and thanks for being part of the chat. I really do enjoy these live streams. They're lots of fun. Plus, y'all keep me on my toes. make me think. XS Paint. In a previous video, you saw a glimpse of what looked like a super short red audio cable from the DJI mic to the camera. What cable was that? XS Paint. That was a custom-made cable from some friends of mine named Backyard Limo on Instagram. In fact, let me see. So if you need like custom cables made, I'm going to do a whole build out with my FX6 system, and you'll see a bunch of those cables because I like red and I like red and black. And so I had them, and they like custom make pretty much any cable, no HDMI, but pretty much any cable. And there it is right there. Like SDI cables, multi-pin cables, basically custom, whatever you need, they'll make it, and they do really good work. It's Backyard Limo, friends of mine in Chicago, and they, so I asked them, I was like, can you make me literally like a 3-inch with 2 right angles, one facing this way and one facing this way, for that. And then I had them make me a 6-inch one, I think, so that I could turn the mic around and still have it be very compact and tight. And then they've made me a couple of power cables, an SDI cable or 2, and just some other stuff like that. But they like, it's all custom made. It's all sheathed in the, whatever color you want. And so I really, really like it. You don't think it's a big deal to have like a custom color or custom cabling made until you're on set with a lot of people with hundreds of cables. And at the end of the day, you're like, so where are all my cables? And they're all black and look like everybody else's. But if you have custom colored cables, whatever that might be, it makes it much easier to be able to hunt down those cables, find them, and get them back, and make sure you don't lose cables, because good cables are not cheap. So I sell my own Jake Sloan model. Yeah, right. XS Paint. Yeah. So maybe, but they're friends of mine. So I don't get kickback or anything like that. But if you want custom cables made, like pretty much anything except for certain USB cables, although they have done a few USB cables, and HDMI cables, but anything else, professional audio or video cables, they can make them and really nice. So yeah. Let's see. Would like to see Skydio upgrade their controller. I would too. Yeah, I would too. Let's see. First time seeing a glacier going inside of an ice cave of 2021 in ice on Otherworldly, going back soon, but Alaska's on the list. Yeah, Brown and Beachy. I have been in ice caves and on glaciers hundreds of times, maybe thousands. I don't know, a lot. And it is still just absolutely and just incredible to me every time. It just is. And I don't know what to tell you other than that. And so like there's something about it. It's otherworldly and it's just amazing. So yeah, if you get the chance to do it, do it. It's awesome. Robert Schwimmer, after working 19 years in the motion picture industry, now exploring shipwrecks for the federal government for 28 years. Yeah, Robert. I come to love the simplicity that all your subscribers can capture quality film stories at a small investment. You rely on my product reviews. Thank you. And I take that with a lot of weight, actually. It's, yeah. Like, and maybe I'll start adding this on a lot of my product reviews. I'm like, I review products. So, of course, I want you to buy products that you need that I review and use my affiliate links because it helps me out. But at the same time, I am a huge proponent of, like, if you don't need it, don't buy it. There's a huge list I have running of stuff that I want. I don't need it yet. There might be a point where I do, and then I will buy it. But right now, it's just like, yeah, I would like that, but I don't need it. And I also have the thing of, like, if I haven't used something in a year to 18 months, then I need to sell it. Because I I don't need it if I'm not using it that often. So a lot of times when people ask me, how do I start filming video, or what can I do to start filming video? What kind of camera should I get or anything? And I am very much along the lines of like, if you have a late model phone, start with this. These things take great video, like really, really good video, really solid. So if you have a late model phone, just start with that and start filming and film until you realize you've hit the limits of what you can do with the phone, which is actually pretty hard now. Because you can capture. And above everything, if you can capture beautiful images and tell a good story, it doesn't matter what you used to do it with. The story and the imagery will be what people remember and what they notice. So, I think like some of the work I've done with Bell helicopters, I think what actually sold them was a GoPro 10 FPV shot that had it wasn't a great white balance and it wasn't a great exposure, but the shot was really cool, and so they bought it. And they bought a bunch of pictures too, and the pictures were shot with an A7S III, not a high resolution big megapixel camera or anything like that. So yeah. Tyler Gibson, how do I see the field of drone pilot evolving in the future, and what do you see the biggest challenges, opportunity in this industry? Tyler, so it depends on what you're doing, but I think for people that do what I do, which is videography, photography, I think there will be lots of opportunity. I definitely see challenges coming down the road from regulatory aspect, and that's partly because you've got big corporations who want to do lots of beyond visual line of sight automated stuff, and they kind of want to just own the airspace, and unfortunately, they have lots of money to lobby, so they can do it in some ways. But I think there will be lots of opportunity for drone pilots who are skilled and can capture great images with drones in the future. I think there's going to be a lot of, honestly, probably one of the biggest, fastest growing segments of drone work in that respect, like a single operator kind of stuff, is probably in inspections. Inspections, roof inspections, heat inspections with a thermal camera, stuff like that is, that kind of stuff is, there's going to be a lot of that down the road because, yeah. So I think there's going to be lots of opportunity. I think the challenges are going to be from a regulatory aspect and also from the licensing aspect. There are certain things that if they do pass the regulations, in the way they're like currently proposed or whatever, it's going to raise the bar of entry for people to get licensed and to be able to do it legally up. Example, my FPV drones, this fall, I'm supposed to have remote ID on all of the ones that I fly commercially in places that aren't a FRIA. Right now, the modules that are available are expensive. I'm not buying 15 modules to put on 15 FPV drones because that would be several $1,000s. And that's ridiculous. So we'll see what develops as that time gets closer. But yeah. Drone Dad, you and I are not the same. Thank you. I appreciate that, Drone Dad. Oh, that's awesome. I appreciate that, man. Yeah. Oh, okay. Any progress on Part 108 and beyond visual line of sight? Not really yet, Mark. I think we'll see a lot of that once remote ID is more implemented. That is taking all of the FAA's brain power and time right now on the drone side, anyway. I think it'll come after that, but yeah. Preston Glad, especially for YouTube. Yeah, exactly, Preston. For YouTube, like for my analytics at 86,000 subscribers or whatever it is, if I look at my analytics, it's like 90 to 92% of the people that watch my videos watch on a mobile device at 1080p or lower. Sometimes I have to ask myself, why am I uploading in 4K? I think it looks better. YouTube processes it differently, so the video does look better in the end, even if you're watching it in 1080 or 720. But yeah, so like especially if you're just posting stuff on social media and YouTube stuff, then the phone is the way to go. It's great. I've filmed entire behind the scenes videos on just my phone because it's easy and it's there. So yeah. How to Alaska, the iPhone 13 Pro. Yeah, that's what I'm running. It does really good. It's kind of crazy how good it does. We all want to dream about being a fancy filmmaker, so we go out and spend a stupid amount of money before we have any skill or basic knowledge, at least speaking for myself. Oh, no. I totally right there with you, man. I have done that. Yeah. I want to say I think last year was probably the first year that I didn't do that. But I bet if I think about it hard enough, I probably still did. Times where I'm like, even right now, like I have a Sony FX6 sitting in a box over here. Did I absolutely need that camera? That's debatable. Did I want that camera? Yes. Have I used that camera and has that camera made me money? Yes. Like, but at the same time, like, could I have done what I did with other cameras? Yes. It would have been harder. The long form stuff is much easier with a cinema camera, FX6 style, I mean FX30, whatever, or FX3. It just, so it's one of those things. But there were a couple of points where I hit the limitations of what I could do with the cameras I own, which is like the A7S III, the Sony A1, where I upgraded to that. And even the Sony A1, like I was shooting with the A7 IV, which is great, and that's definitely the camera I would recommend most people get. Then something happened last summer where all of a sudden I was getting a lot of opportunities and jobs where I was going out and doing photos and video all at the same time, all in a really fast-paced environment because it was involving aircraft. And I was like, well, I don't even have time to switch bodies a lot or switch lenses, so I really need one body that will do everything I need. And that's where I came to like, well, the Sony Alpha 1 kind of is it because it gives me 4K 120, which I do need fairly often in what I'm doing. And it gives me, fantastic stills. So, yeah. 20 and $200 worth of skill. That's true. That's where I do think like it's a lot of the online courses. I mean, a lot of them I think are like, okay, really, do we need an online course about this, that, or the other thing? I also understand like that people gel with certain people, and the way the way I present information is different than the way Jeff and Dowie would present information or other people would present information. So I understand like there's a certain amount of like, I jive with that person. They present it in a way that I can understand it faster than other people. I totally get that. But I do understand like the value of some of the courses when you think like, somebody's selling a master class, which I hate to use that term, like $400 for, a complete guide to photography or storytelling through video, whatever it is. You think that $400, you're like, gosh, it's a lot of money. At the same time, a lot of us don't think twice about going and spending $2,000-$3,000 on a camera or lens. So that $400 is a really probably the more worthwhile investment because then whatever equipment you do have, you're going to be able to use it better and understand what you're doing better. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah. So, but I totally agree with you, Preston. Excess paint. Real thoughts on the new Action 3 or GoPro Hero 11? Are you trying to get me in trouble again, Excess paint? Yeah. Okay, so I will give you an answer to that. And Shutter Speed Ireland, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Keep up the good work, sir, in Irish. Is it Gaelic? Is that what that is in? Or is I'm trying to remember what else. Anyway, thank you very much. I deeply appreciate that. Excess paint. Okay. One live chat. You should introduce your tribe. One live chat. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, the family. Maybe there are videos every now and then, bits and pieces. Excess paint. My real thoughts on the Action 3 versus the GoPro Hero 11. In the first video I did comparing the GoPro Hero 3 and Action Hero 11, I got called a shill for GoPro, even though I clearly said I bought both these cameras. Nobody gave me anything. I just did it on my own. Ken Aaron, thank you for the super chat, man. Thank you. By the way, Ken, I am relatively here for the foreseeable future. So I'll just throw that out there. If you need a co-host or you need a guest or something like that, let me know. Anyway, and I'm sure you will. And then that'll be like the one day I can't do it or something stupid like that. But I'll throw it out there. I'm not traveling nearly as much for the next couple months at least. Excess paint. Okay, so the GoPro Hero Action 3 Go Hero. So then when I did the recent one, which DJI did send me an Action 3, but I also went out and bought one at Best Buy because I wanted to make sure I didn't get a cherry-picked version, you know. So, and they really didn't tell me any talking points. So, bottom line, where's my Action 3? I think it's still in my backpack from today. But bottom line is, the GoPro Hero 11 still has the best image quality, both from a resolution standpoint, a photo standpoint, and from a, the way they handle artifacts, the way they process the image. Like, GoPro still has the best image quality. They're really good at what they do. The Hero 11, for me, has had the least amount of issues compared to the Hero 10, which froze and locked up fairly often. The GoPro Hero 9, which had the worst touchscreen I've ever seen on an action camera, and it froze and locked up and just it was terrible. The Hero 11 I've not had any of those issues with. The Hero 11 will overheat much faster in warm temperatures if you're filming longer form stuff. The Action 3, I have not had an action camera that had the battery that lasts as long as the Action 3, especially out in the very, very cold temperatures. It has very good stabilization. I would say the GoPro 11 and the Action 3 are they're totally on par stabilization-wise. They're just 6 1/2 dozen at that point. The one thing I noticed about the Action 3, though, is that the GoPro exposes for the entire scene, where the Action 3 tends to expose more for faces it sees. So that's different because it will blow out highlights easier than the GoPro will because it sees a face and it's like, oh, I should expose for the face, which is true if you're vlogging. You may not want it to do that, but anyway, so there's that. And then frankly, the audio input options on the Action 3, basically any normal USB compliant microphone can be used as an audio input with the Action 3, is really good. And it does not overheat anywhere close to as fast as the GoPro does. So that's my kind of synopsis. The big thing I think people need to realize is you have to get something that was made after, it seems like December, January is where they made some change, and all of the ones that I have heard and both of the ones that I've got were made, I think one was made in December, one was made in January, and both of those have been fine focus-wise. I've heard from people that got them made in November that they like some good ones, some bad ones, and then anything made before that was not good focus-wise, but then everything made after that has been good focus-wise. So holy crap, you guys have chatted a bunch. Okay, I need to catch up. So that's my thoughts. That's my honest thoughts. For budget, the Action 3 is a winner because it's cheaper, it's inexpensive, and it is a good camera. For best image quality overall, the GoPro still reigns supreme. It's great. Yeah. Okay. Somebody asked me, Brad Henderson, Mavic 3 worth picking up? You have an Air 2S, or should you consider waiting a couple of months, possibly Air 3? I would wait a little bit, Brad, see if the Air 3 does come out. Otherwise, I would highly recommend the Mavic Classic. The Mavic 3 Classic is an excellent drone, fantastic image quality, and you don't have to spend the full $2,500 for it. Heron is everywhere. Dun dun dun. Yeah. Oh, so I can't remember who it was that asked me about birds attacking their drone. Ken Heron, right here, is the guy who sells the eyeball stickers that I was telling you about. Put the eyeball stickers on your drone. It does work. Well, he says it works. For all I know, he's just shilling for his own stickers. Preston, you went through 4 Action 3s. You love DJI and hate GoPro. Just don't trust now. You're getting an Action 3, so you're using GoPro Hero 11. Man, you went through 4 of them. That's terrible. So I went through 2. The original one I bought straight from DJI, and then I got one from Best Buy in December because I was like, oh, maybe they're fixed now. Was not fixed. and then I got the one that DJI sent to me, and then I bought the third one. So I've been through 4. I've got 2 now. And you did see footage from both of those cameras in the comparison, because that was one of my big concerns, is like, I'm getting sent one from a manufacturer, you know. On the other hand, I'm kind of impressed that they saw I put that Hero 11 in action video out, comparison, the original one, in whatever it was, October last year. And I was like, as I posted, I was like, I am never going to hear from DJI again. Publish. And so I was impressed that they did that. The year before, I was impressed because GoPro was like, hey, we saw your action versus GoPro Hero 10 video, and we'd like to send you some new Enduro batteries because it fixes a lot of problems you complained about. And they were right, it did. So I'm always impressed when a manufacturer will see a very harsh, critical video about a camera and then reach out to me and say, we think we fixed the problem that you had. Can we send you a new one and you can try it out? So anyway, that's just my... Honestly, like, it's 6 and 1/2 dozen. They're both good. They both have their weaknesses. They both have their strengths. So it's, like I said in the video, like, get the one that's going to work best for you. If you're getting an Action 3, make sure you get one that was made in December or January. Later, not earlier, because the earlier ones are the ones that really had the issue. Yeah, 107 drones, exactly. DJI needs some good shots of our faces for fake conspiracy of the day. Yeah, GoPros are not just reliable in your experience, no matter how good it looks. Never prefer original Osmo. Honestly, Adrian, the original Osmo Action is still, I still have it, and my kids still run around it. They have abused the crap out of it, and it's still going strong. What is it, like 3 years later, 4 years later? It's amazing. That original Osmo Action is great. And GoPros, as far as being unreliable, I do know what you mean. Every time I stick one of these on an FPV drone and push record, the first 10 seconds of it are me looking at the camera, making sure that it's recording, because the amount of times I have sent a drone out to do something epic and it has come back and not been recording is significant. Dynadrone, thank you for becoming a channel supporter. Dude, thank you. You now have access to some pretty fun behind-the-scenes videos. And tomorrow-ish, maybe, Friday, maybe, you will see actually, you will see, like, me hiking across the lake today to go film these Olympic skaters in front of the glacier with the FPV drone. That will be a video that you will get to see pretty soon. So channel members and patrons will get to see that video. So, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Sticker song promo plug. Nope, not happening. I don't even know where that is anymore. I used to have it like shortcut. I think I still have it on my computer somewhere. You thought you were a member, Dynadrone? Yeah, actually, I thought you were too. That's weird. Yeah, that's weird. Anyway, but thank you. Thank you very much. Even damaged the lens, fixing your Action 3, fixed the focus, but then I had a big spot on the lens. Oh, dang, that sucks. No, you have a member. Yeah, exactly. Aaron Pacheco, you like the Action 2 because it's just so tiny, but the picture quality isn't super great, you will admit. Yeah. And that's where, and I, like in the comparison video, the DJI comparison video, the recent one I did say it, but I didn't, like, I guess I didn't say it strong enough or hard enough or whatever, but out of all the action cameras, GoPro still reigns supreme for just straight up image quality. And the Hero 11 was a fairly good bump in image quality. It is the best image quality out of an action camera. Whatever they're doing to process the artifacts and handle stuff like that is the best. It just is. Ken, do not share my secrets. I shared that with you in confidence, and now you're wrecking it, man. I don't know if I can come on your streams anymore. I should start a big feud. Holy crap, it's 5 o'clock already. Well, I got to wrap this up. So if you have a question, ask it now or wait till next week. Yeah, and I do like the Action 2, Aaron. I still use it on certain FPV drones, the little ones, because it's It's so small and lightweight. It's great. There's a really wide field of view too, which is good. Can be bad, but it is mostly good. It's lots of fun. Lifestyle one, Preston. Yeah, the action. Yeah, the action one was kind of an oddball because it was, and I did compare it. And I may still stand by my comparison, but looking at it now after using it for a while, they're very different cameras aimed at different markets. And I think that's what the problem was for DJI, is they marketed it as this action camera when really it was like, it's exactly what you're saying. It was a lifestyle camera. And that's exactly what it was. Yeah, GoPro Hero 11's 5K, 5.3K, Mark. So, and on that, and I did struggle with this initially because at first I was like, it's still out of focus. It's still out of focus. And then I did some really, and I probably should put them in the video, but I did some, in fact, I might do a new comparison video and just see if I can't piss everybody off. Just really try and tick everybody off, and we'll go from there. Or, get called a shill for both camera companies at the same time. I don't think that's happened yet, so that might be a good goal to have. Anyway, so the one thing I noticed when I was testing the two Action 3s that I've got and the GoPro Hero 11, and I did do it with the Hero 10 too, just to make sure like it wasn't just the GoPro Hero 11 or something. But because GoPro has put in a higher resolution sensor, even when you knock it down to 4K, it still looks a little more detailed. But it's not a focus issue. So the the Action 3 will always look, I'm trying to make sure, I hope I can explain this right. It will always look a little bit softer than the GoPro Hero 11 because you have a 4K sensor versus a 5.3K sensor. That's 1.3K more lines of resolution or more pixels of resolution is a significant amount. So the same is true like filming with the A7S III. Fantastic, beautiful 4K. I love this camera. If I go and film with the A1 in 8K, but then put it in 4K, you will see the difference. The 8K films, but drop to 4K is like and so the way to do this, Gerald Undone did this super nerdy test, and this is the way I kind of had to test the GoPro and stuff too, was you put the A1 in 8K mode, and then you film on a Ninja 5 in 4K. That 4K still looks better than 4K straight out of this camera, the A7S III, or straight out of the A1, because it's being fed an 8K signal and then processing it down to 4K because it's using the entire 8K sensor. So there is some of that going on with the GoPro Hero 11 and the Action 3. But like I said, at least the ones that I've had that have been built after December 2022, and the one in January 2023, those seem to be better. And from what I've seen from other people, other creators I know and stuff, most people are getting the same issue, or not the same issue, but the same results. The ones that were built like in September, October, and I think even November, because I think Worth It or Not got one that was made in November, those are the ones that still seem to have the focus issue. So, or maybe he just got one that was October or September. I don't remember. Anyway. Yeah, there we go. Sounds good, Robert. Have a great day, man. Enjoy some warm weather and sunshine for me. Italy fact or cap? I don't know what you mean. Preston, glad I could do it. You mean I could piss everybody off? I probably can. I don't know if I can get called a shill for both companies in the same video, unless I was like, yeah, they both sent me loads of cash, which they haven't. Neither one have. So I don't know. I have been thinking about trying it though. Like just anyway. And I think I do like it is really hard to include all the information about both cameras in one video. It's gonna end up being like a 20-minute video if I do. But and Preston, you might have been the one who brought it up, and it was a legitimate comment or criticism about the fact that the GoPro, like, because of the new sensor, the 8x7 sensor, like you can go in post and reframe and do like a vertical if you're filming in the right mode. So you can reframe it to be a vertical video or a horizontal video. And you can't do that with DJI. And that's true. And because I don't use the camera in that way, I didn't think about mentioning it. But it's true. Like there are some legitimate things. So again, I think DJI is more orienting their camera toward a vlogging type market, where GoPro is it's pulling the vlogging market in, but it's still primarily like sports, action, let's go out and do cool stuff. So yeah. Anyway, Aaron, you did a video a couple months ago how bad GoPros for HDMI output live streaming. People keep wanting them to use them as studio cameras, and just please no. Yeah, Aaron, and that is true. Like an action camera, and David Manning did a great test on this, where it's like he tests like this with the camera sitting on the desk. Both of them, Action 3 and this. They both overheated pretty dang quick. He put them up on stands where they had more airflow, and that made a massive improvement in how well they worked. But these cameras, even though they can live stream, they're not made for that. My A7S III gets warm, and it is made for like more of that sort of stuff. So it's just one of those things of like, if you're going to live stream, this is not the camera. Honestly, if you're going to live stream, a late model phone is going to do better. You're going to have to go straight from the phone. But yeah, these are not really built for live streaming. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. Other than that, just get an FX3. It has a fan. Yeah, or the FX30. The FX30 is cheaper, has a fan, runs great little camera. So Preston, it doesn't matter what they do, we will never be happy. And that's the truth right there. Hey, that's how I should end the video, or I'm trying to tick everybody off. Yeah, actually might not be bad. Then a $600 tripod. 3K lens. Exactly. And then we'll still not be happy because something won't be perfect. Comment. Do you know any good mounts for an Action 3? Good helmet mounts. I mean, so like if you watch where I just did the Action 3 in the ice climbing video, I just used a cheap head mount thing from Amazon, like a strap-on head mount thing, and it worked great. Most people, like what the skaters were doing today, they're like Olympic speed skaters, Olympic figure skaters. They just have one of the 3M sticky GoPro mounts. I don't have one here, but anyway, just the ones you just stick on, where you peel off the back and you stick it on. And they just stuck that to their helmet. And that's what I would do, honestly. If you're going to regularly attach it to your helmet, I would just get a 3M sticky mount, stick it on the helmet, and then you've got a really good solid mount for your GoPro. Bye, Ken. Yep, that's what I need to do. Awesome. Thanks, USA Drone Flyer. Great. And with that, I'm going to wrap it up. Off to the beach. Jealous. Have fun. Have a great night. Basic ski chase shots. Honestly, Zephi, I would get, if you have the budget, get a GoPro Hero 11 or an Action 3. Or like, if you don't want to worry about framing for ski shots, you might not want to. Honestly, the Insta360 X3 would be a great one, because then you can frame it in post, track somebody. You don't have to worry about like holding this right on them while you're skiing down a slope, which is difficult. So I think I would look at the Insta360 X3 personally for that, because I think that would do really well for you in that regard. Without focus issues, Robert, the Nikon, what is it, Z6 Mark II, if you want kind of a budget range model, that's a great camera for budget range. If you don't mind spending a fair amount of money, the Z9 is an incredible camera across the board. So that's what I would recommend, Robert. Those two. Budget, get the Z6 Mark II. And for if you got money is no object, get the Z9, because the Z9 is crazy incredible. Because you've already got Nikon glass, you'll be good to go. All right, thanks everybody. How was the part 1 of the renewal test? Super easy, Scott. You take it online, very easy to do. Yep. All right. I will be back. Same time, same place next week. Maybe slightly less stressed out because I think I'm hopefully going to get my taxes done by then, or at least get all the stuff sent off to the CPA who's doing the taxes. Yay, tax season for Americans. In the meantime, thank you very much for being part of this channel. I really, really appreciate it. I've got a new video coming tomorrow that'll be fun and useful for some of you who work in actual production teams, crews type stuff regularly, or multiple person shoots regularly. It's very useful for that. And then Monday, the plan is Monday will come the Mavic 3 and Aurora video that I teased so many weeks ago now. But thank you all for being here. Thank you for becoming channel members, those of you who did. And thank you very much for the super chats. For those of you that super chatted, I deeply, deeply appreciate it. It buys me coffee when I'm out doing things late at night or cold out there for fun. So thank you. Same time, same place next week. Till then, be safe, be smart. I'll see you again soon in the next video. Cheers.